The landscape is unmistakable. Mountains made of rocks strewn as far as the eyes can see, with their sizes ranging from pebbles to massive monoliths. This place cannot be mistaken for anywhere else. Geologists call them Inselbergs, German for island mountains, and these Inselbergs were formed over millennia. It took countless years of erosion by wind, water, rain to leave the bedrock here looking like this. And the sights are beyond spectacular. This landscape, it is the perfect example of how time allows you to create beautiful things.
Time may allow you to create beautiful things, but you need to give yourself the time. That's something that we as a society have probably forgotten. The rat race. At times, we need to leave it behind and focus on the things that really matter. There's so much that makes life fulfilling outside of work. Your passions, your relationships, your well-being. As you grow older, you realize all of that deserves your time and attention. And when you do chase them by giving it that time and effort, you lead a happier life. So what does the A8 have to do with all of that? Well, everything. The A8 is Audi's flagship, the best that they have to offer. The most comfortable, the most luxurious, the absolute pinnacle. And does one thing really, really well. It isolates you from the outside world. The noise, the dust, the stresses. Sink into the seats, shut the door, and this becomes your own personal lounge. A lounge in which you can indulge yourself. For example, I like my music. I've got a brilliant B&O sound system to soak it all in. Of course, everybody has great headphones these days, but there's nothing like sitting over here and being engulfed in the 3D surround sound experience. Over the past weeks, I've been listening to Calvin Harris's...
Play something calmer, no, now?
Okay, so even if you put something calmer, this is a great place to soak in the tunes. As an audiophile, every time I get into the Audi A8, it's a chance to indulge my passions. Well, I wish I could get into the Audi A8 more often to indulge those passions, but that's another story. The obvious next bit is my passion for driving. Now the A8, this is a massive car, a proper luxury automobile. But you stick it in dynamic mode and with the Quattro handling, my word, this really does go around corners. It handles surprisingly well. Then there's this engine, the Turbo V6. It is creamy smooth. When you're driving in a relaxed manner, you can't hear it at all. You can't feel the 8-speed automatic gearbox. But when you step on it, this gets a throaty, powerful note. You can actually hear the engine. And it actually lights the fires of the enthusiast. But the absolute best thing on the A8, its party trick, is the ride comfort. Now, I've been daily driving a Q7, and in my books, that is one of the most comfortable cars you can buy for road tripping in India. But after driving the Q7, when I sat in the A8, it takes luxury 2 steps up. It's unbelievable how comfortable this is. Now, this is a speed breaker. And I did not feel it at all. I can see the speed breaker, but the car can also see that it's a speed breaker. It's got this adaptive suspension that uses cameras to read the road ahead, and then it adjusts the suspension accordingly. So if there's a speed breaker, it softens the suspension. If there's a pothole, it actually drops the wheel into the pothole so that the body, it remains flat, and the people inside, they don't move around. So the suspension is doing all the work, but the body, it remains flat, and consequently the people inside, they're cocooned from the outside world. Of course, when the speed breakers get really nasty, the air suspension, it also has a lift function. So you lift it up and go over speed breakers without a worry. The whole experience of driving it, it's fast, yet it is calm and gives you the time to think, to just soak in everything else, take a breather, don't answer calls, just let your brain relax and get back to its own pace.
But it isn't just your passion that you must create time for. The pursuit of knowledge and experiences are equally important. Hampi's history dates back to 300 BC, but the temples and ruins you see around here today are remnants of the Vijayanagar Empire. In its glory, this city was one of the largest in the world. It is also referenced in the epic, the Ramayana, as home to the Monkey Kingdom and to Hanuman. Today, Hampi is a spectacular example of juxtaposing man's design against nature and appreciating both of them side by side.
Okay, enough walking around. Time to chill in the backseat. Adish. As much as I love driving, sitting in the backseat of the A8 is a different experience altogether. You just kick back, sink in, and soak in the luxury, because this really is extremely comfortable. Of course, you have the ride comfort, but then there are also these seats which are incredibly supportive yet plush. It's got ventilation, which is a great feature out here after the hot day out in the sun. It's got heating, which is of no use currently, and it's got massagers, and the massagers work really well. I particularly like the stretch function, so you can control it using the rear seat remote out here. You can also control the front seat, so you press this button here, you can push the front seats all the way forward, or you use this single touch button which reclines the rear seat, and Ottoman that comes out of the backrest, and you have foot massagers to complement the massagers in the seat, which is another insane touch. You have an infotainment screen, and if it's all the way forward and you can't reach out, you can also control it using the rear seat remote. So you can play your movies, also your music, all of that. You get sun blinds, you get the sunroof, everything is electrically operated. You can also option a fridge out there, so you can have your champagne flutes and your champagne bottles and really chill in the backseat of the A8.
The Audi A8 L also gets digital matrix LED headlamps. These super intelligent lights are an Audi USP. They feature over 1.3 million micromirrors that break the light into little pixels and give incredible precision to how the light falls on the road. And just like the lights on the outside, you get matrix LED reading lights on the inside. You can manually control the intensity and the direction of how they fall. Proper techie stuff this.
To unwind some more, we headed to Evolve Back Hampi. This resort is a great way to unwind even further when you are in Hampi. It takes inspiration from the architecture of the Vijayanagar Empire, mixing heritage with modernity. Each suite is luxuriously appointed and is designed to pamper. The 4 restaurants offer up various cuisine, including dishes from the Bahmani Sultanate, the Vijayanagar Empire's northern neighbor, in extremely intimate settings. And of course, there is the spa, where you can really, truly unwind. And speaking of really truly unwinding, that brings us back to the Audi A8 L. It is a car that gives you the opportunity to live life on your terms. It gives you the luxury of time, the luxury to pursue your hobbies, to spend time with the people you love, to rejuvenate and to take care of yourself. It is more than just a car. It is your personal sanctuary. And not too many cars can be that.